Hello, welcome to Savage Sounds Week 40. Last week we did singing and... last week we did beatboxing and melody, and this week we're going to be doing singing and beatboxing at the same time. There are many ways that you can do this, but one of the first beatboxers to ever do this is a beatboxer called Rahzel, aka the godfather of noise. He was a real pioneer, and he brought out a whole beatbox album, and one of the famous songs from that, which you may have heard of, is If Your Mother Only Knew. If your mother only knew. I'm not sure if I know the rest. That's not good. So I might not be doing this exactly how it is on the record, but this is my version of it. This is just to give you an example of how you can sing and beatbox at the same time, quoting a legend. So it's an auditory illusion. People think that it's happening at the same time, but it's not actually happening at the same time. You go, if your mother only knew. If your brother only knew. Because you've laid them out separately like that, when you put them together, immediately people's brains just go, whoa, it's happening at the same time, I don't understand. In fact, that was me, 14-year-old Grace. The first time I'd ever seen a professional live beatboxer was Rahzel doing this routine. And he did the bass at the same time as well. And I was just like absolutely mind blown. And it's part of the reason I got into beatboxing in the first place. But now I know all the tricks. So really, you're putting the words in the space in between where the beats are. So it's biff, biff, your mother only knew. So actually, the words and the beats are never really happening at the same time. Even with biff, it's b and then if, but just very close together. Biff, biff. They're not happening at the same time. It's always beat, then word, beat, then word. But you put it together in rhythm, in the right order, and with pace, and it just sounds like it's happening at the same time. So the simple version is just to do a really straight rhythm where you go, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, kick, snare. And you just go, biff your father, biff your father. So it's like mother, father. You don't really get the M of mother in. Biff your father, only boo. Do it without any melody. Biff your father, only boo. Biff your brother, bonely boo. Okay? Really focus on getting the kick drum and the snare sounds as crisp and close to how you do them without singing as possible. Biff, biff your brother, bonely boo. Now you add the melody. Biff your brother, bonely new boo. Biff your father, bonely noob. It's better to do it in sections. Biff your father. That's good because it's all the same note. If your mother's all the same note, that's an easy part. Biff your father, bone. That's when it goes up. Biff your father, bonely. Biff your father, bonely. Only da 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 dee da 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 da. Okay, so practice the pitch and then biff your father, same note. Biff your father, bonely. Biff your father, bonely, new. Lee and new are the same note. Biff your father, bonely, noob, oop. And you keep the ooh, 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 noob, oop, oop, oop. You're carrying on that long note and the beat's just carrying on in between. Noop, oop, oop. Biff your father, bone. Go up on the O. Play noop, oop. So you go noopa, oopa. Noopa, oopa. That's the third bit to practice. Bone, play noop, oop, oop. And you can do whatever rhythm on the end to sort of round it off. Biff your father, bone, play noop, oop. Okay? That's the simple version. A slightly more interesting and maybe version is to sort of push the snare a little bit more. So rather than going father, so the beat is on the word mother, father, you're going to do it just before. So you can go, the rhythm rather than is, you can feel that snare is slightly pushed. If your mother and I think this is better because it's a more interesting rhythm. It's not just duh, 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 duh. It's not too ploddy. And also you get the m of mother. So it doesn't sound like if your brother only knew. So biff your mother, biff your mother, biff your mother, bone is the same. Bone, lee, biff your mother, bone, lee. Again, instead of going flee, flee as one word like flee, flee, you're going lee. There's a tiny gap before it. Lee, lee. They're a bit more separate, a bit more staccato. Biff your mother, bone, lee, noop, oop. Biff your mother, bone, lee, noop, oop. Okay, so that is how you sing and beatbox at the same time. Being on pitch is quite important, and writing it down, I still have to write it down every time I want to do a new cover where I beatbox something like a complicated rhythm, then I always write it down. So I write it down, biff your mother, and I learn it very slowly, get it in my brain, and then I practice getting a bit faster and faster, and then it'll just be like breathing, it'll be like second nature. So another song where I sing and beatbox at the same time, which is a routine that I do quite often, is Rihanna Rude Boy. Come on, rude boy, boy, boy. So God, I haven't done it for a while. I normally sing it first. It always works if you sing it, do little beats in between, build up to it, and then you beatbox and sing at the same time, rather than just going straight in. Don't want to give away all your best bits too early. You always want to build to your drops or build to your big trick. And the trick is singing and beatboxing at the same time. So build up to it. So in that routine, I go, come on, rude boy, boy, boy. Come on, rude boy, boy, boy. Come on, rude boy, come on. And I sing very softly and echoey and get people used to the song so they recognise the song. The beatbox is just very much like fills in between the singing, the melody. Come on, rude boy, come on, rude boy, come on, come on, come on. Then I'll go into a drum and bass rhythm. Okay, so I've established the song, I go into the rhythm, and then the next stage is doing the rhythm with the singing. So I would go, come on, rude boy, so I will write the rhythm down in the description, but just to quickly show you what that is, it is Pfum on, rude. So it's Pfum on. So Pfum on, Pfum on. Pfum on, rude boy, rude boy. Pfum on, 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 rude boy. Boy to companion. Boy to companion. Boy to visit. Visit big enough. Boy to companion, get it up. Very rude song, actually, isn't it? Boy to capiz, boy to capiz. Okay, I think this one's going to be too complicated to try and just teach you using your ears and listening. So I will write it down and put a link to me actually performing it. And then if you want to learn it, you can learn it that way. Otherwise, this video is going to be too long. So that is Razel, If Your Mother Only Knew, and Rihanna, Rude Boy. So go and try it with your own song. So start with the melody, introduce some drums slowly, then do a rhythm, then do the singing and beatboxing on top, and see if you can start to create your own routine with melody and beats, thinking about the audience and thinking about how they're going to want to hear things slowly coming together, and thinking about not giving away all your best stuff early on. Otherwise, you've got nowhere to go and audiences quickly get bored. So that is my tips on singing and beatboxing at the same time. Next week, I'm going to do creating your own routine, which I've kind of touched on today. So it feels like a natural progression into next week. And I'll be using my beatbox version of my song Medusa as an example. Alrighty, bye.